What does a handsome young guy like me actually invest in? Well, over the last couple of years, I've developed a few very successful companies, and throughout that, I've taken a very strong interest in personal finance, and that has caused me to invest in a lot of different things, which I'm going to be sharing in this video. Some of these investments are actually really, really unique, and you might actually like the sound of some of these. I want to just start this by saying that this is not financial advice at all. I'm just a young idiot on the internet that is sharing his thoughts, so do not take any of this as the next best thing or the next best investment advice. I'm purely just here showing you what I invest in personally, and you shouldn't copy what I do without speaking to a financial advisor or someone who knows a lot more than me. So I've drawn a beautiful little pie here, and in this video I'm going to be illustrating all of the different parts of this pie and what that actually makes up to my overall investment portfolio. So the first quartile is cash, and that accounts for 20% of my overall portfolio. So cash is really important for a couple of reasons in my opinion. Number one is I like to keep an emergency fund, and this allows me to fund 3 to 6 months of both my personal and business expenses. So that means if I ever run into a downfall myself or my business runs into a downfall, I'm still going to have money aside there to deal with that situation, and I'm also going to have money aside for any employees or any members of staff that need paid during a tough time as well. The next thing, the reason why cash is so important is so that you're ready for the next investment. There's so many business opportunities and investment opportunities that I've had that have came up through luck of a whim or a random time, and if I don't have cash available for the next thing, then it means that I'm going to be left behind and in the dark. So I like to keep money aside for investing as well, so that I'm actually ready for the next investment. And that's why I feel 20% cash is really, really important. And that allows me to think ahead and get the next best thing when it comes. The second part is online assets, and this accounts for 8% of my overall portfolio. My online assets are very varied, but typically fall under and into the SEO industry. So what I do essentially is I have these little websites that are actually ranked on Google. And what happens is people come to Google, and for a range of reasons, they visit my website through the Google search engine organically. Now, the great thing about this is that I don't pay for any of this traffic, and these online websites produce me monthly income on a recurring basis. And not only that, these websites are actually worth very, very high multiples if you go on to sell them. They can sell for as much as 36x for a basic website to as much as 100x for a website that is, in a very, very tough niche. Most of mine are worth the kind of 36x range, so I could sell these if I want, but for the most part, they produce me very, very good amounts of cash flow and income. And the great thing about this, and the reason I do these, is because, first of all, they're great investments. I can rank websites on Google, get traffic to those websites, and generate, a lot of money and income from that on an ongoing basis for free. And the second thing about it is it actually keeps my knowledge up in the SEO industry. By me actually ranking and going out and doing my own websites, it allows me to keep my knowledge really, really high, and that helps my businesses that are inside the SEO industry because I actually know what I'm doing and I'm actually ranking websites, unlike a lot of other people who sell SEO services. I'm actually out there ranking my own sites, and this actually accounts for about 8% of my portfolio in terms of the valuations of these websites, and it's really, really fun. It's just a side hobby, and it makes me a good bit of money. The next part is property, and this actually accounts for 40% of my entire portfolio. So I got into property investing a couple of years ago when my mum was actually buying some buy-to-lets herself in the UK, and she was renting those out and making some good retirement income. And I really, really was fascinated by this form of, ongoing yield investments, because essentially you can buy a house, rent it out, or buy a house and flip the house. There's lots of different ways you can make money in property, but that really fascinated me as a money-making venture. And because I had the knowledge of my mum and I was able to come into this, I've done very, very well off this. So last year I actually bought my first personally owned buy-to-let. This year I've actually got into commercial property investing. I bought a vet, an accountant's office, a lot of different places. So I'm getting into this, and what I'm actually starting to do now is, instead of just actually buying houses myself, I'm actually bringing in lead generation into the equation, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm finding people who are looking to sell their houses through my own marketing knowledge, and I'm bringing these people into my own equation. And what I'll be doing is I'll be using that as a way for me to find the next best deals for myself, and I'll also be maybe packaging those deals up, selling them on to other investors, and I'll be building an actual company around this investment strategy that I've been doing over the last couple of years. And this is a great passion. I mean, all of these things that I invest in, I really actually enjoy doing. Property I absolutely love, and there's just so much opportunity in it. And you can really do a lot actually with not a lot of money if you understand financing and different things like this. There's lots of ways to put money into property and get money out. In actually that video that I put in last year on my YouTube channel where I bought my first property, I actually invested about 35,000 for that house, but I was able to use smart refinancing and get that house down to £6,000 or £8,000. I can't remember. That's all the money I actually ended up putting in because I got more of the money back out from the bank. So I explained that in the video before, but property is such a cool investment and I really enjoy it, and I'll be continuing to build my portfolio time and time again, especially with this property buying company that I'm developing now. The next part is crypto, and this actually accounts for 20% of my entire portfolio. This one might be no surprise, but I am heavily invested into crypto at the moment. So what I believe is happening is that we're going through a phase of a bull run where essentially tons of people are jumping in to buy cryptocurrencies. But eventually that will come probably to an end and that will drop. So the people who make a lot of money in crypto are people who are able to time the market very well and have a good understanding of what's actually going on. So my crypto is kind of summed up into two different categories. I have sort of safe ones, I guess. They're not safe. No cryptocurrency is safe. Just let me be clear. If you're going to put money into cryptocurrency, I think it should be a very small percentage of your money that you're willing to lose, because cryptocurrency is like crazy. You can make a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money. It's like investing in penny stocks. So don't do this as a safe investment. This is something that you can make a lot of money with. But I'm going to call these the safe cryptos, and I'm going to call them these one the risky ones, right? So some of the safe ones I've got is like BTC, obviously, like Bitcoin, Ethereum. I've got Polkadot is quite a good one. ADA, Cardano. So these are different coins that are pretty big at this point, and they're going to be fairly safe to invest in from a cryptocurrency perspective. But the truth is, like during this bull run, is that these coins don't have as much potential to actually multiply as some of the more risky coins. So the way I've kind of been feeling about cryptocurrency is I want to get into more of the risky coins, because the risky coins are the ones that can actually explode and make you 5-10x in a couple of months. But obviously they're riskier, and the way I feel about crypto anyway is the whole thing is risky. So I don't really have much qualms about coming in and doing some of the risky coins. I mean, some of the risky coins I'm doing, I've got ENJ, which is engine. I've got Phala, PHA. I've got one called Kylan. So these are all ones you can check out. I'm not trying to like sell you these, but I think I've got like 10 or 15 different ones. I'll maybe do a video at some point on my different cryptocurrency investments. But again, not pushing you to get any of these. These are just the ones I do, and these are the kind of categories I bucket them off on, and I have a good mix in my 20% portfolio of both risky and safe ones. And the truth is, I think I'll probably make quite a lot of money on this, but I'll be exiting at some point. Probably more try and time it before this bull run ends, because at the end of the day, like, some people are going to buy crypto right now and make a lot of money, and you don't make the money till you sell it. Okay, you need to understand that. If you time it wrong in the bull run and it all collapses, then this is not going to be good for you. But the truth is, cryptocurrency as a whole has very good, I feel, long-term value. And if this is something you want to invest a very small percentage of money in and just leave it in for a long time, I believe you're still in a good time and you can still make a lot of money doing that, provided that cryptocurrency continues to adopt and more people jump into it. Just at this point, you've got so many institutional funds and investors actually coming into this stuff, and that really is what persuaded me and validated me to come in and invest money in crypto at this stage. The next part is stocks, and this actually accounts for 5% of my overall portfolio. So stocks is something that I was quite heavily invested in before the pandemic last year, but I kind of jumped out and did a bit more into other things. Specifically, property is actually taking a lot more out of my stocks because I wanted to invest more in property. I know more about that, but essentially what I've got in stocks is some fairly basic stuff. I'm not a stocks expert by any means, but I've just bought a few companies that I believe in long term. A couple that I've done well is FTNT, Fortinet, which is an internet security company. I've done well off Twitter. And yeah, so I've got a few of these big companies. I also actually have some crypto stocks which have done really really well. So yeah, I've got those, and I have all of those stocks in the UK in what's called an ISA. So an ISA allows me to put 20,000 or so per year into it, and anything I gain on that is tax free. So at this point, I just kind of cap out the ISA, invest more in stocks all the time. I also mostly have my stuff into investment funds, and funds, and the reason why I do that is because I'm not an expert in stocks. The guys who are out there timing the market and doing things really well are a lot better than I am. So the way I do it is I just jump in, I buy some good companies that I believe in, that I feel are fairly undervalued, or that I feel just long term are going to do very well anyway, and I buy investment funds. The next part actually accounts for 2% of my portfolio, and it's crypto yield investments. And this is 2%. Right now, I have a very small percentage of my money, a couple percent, into this company called Celsius. And what Celsius do is they're a peer-to-peer lending company. So they basically take money in from investors and they lend that money out to other people and they make money on that. And I've read into this, I know a lot about it. This company works a bit differently from a lot of peer-to-peer lending companies. Obviously, it's cryptocurrency, but they also give a lot larger percentage of profits back to investors, which is why the yields are so high in this. So if you put in USDC and do things in the right way, like owning some of their own Celsius coin, which has actually went up quite dramatically over the last little while. So as you can see here, the Cell coin has went from about 36 cents up to about $7.30. I think I bought in around here, so about $4.80. So I've done a nice simple, almost 2x on this, which is awesome. But basically, if you have and own some of the Cell coin and you invest, USDC, which is essentially a stable coin, it's basically US dollars, it just follows US dollars. So you put US dollars, some Cell coin in here, you can get really, really high yields on your money by owning Celsius. And if you take the rewards as Cell coin as well, you can get even higher rewards. So this is just a peer-to-peer lending company. They have extremely good yields. And what I'll probably be doing when I sell my crypto and exit some of the bull run is I'll be putting more into Celsius here to get a nice solid ongoing yield on my money. I don't think this will last forever, to be honest with you. I think these rates are very, very good just now because it's a young and lean company. But for the most part, I'm taking advantage of it right now. I'm putting a little bit in. It's giving me a good return, and I'm building up more of that Cell coin, which I actually believe in this company long term, which is why I'm actually holding and I'm doing some of this stuff myself. I've left a link below to Celsius if you want to join. It's a little referral link, gives me like $40 or something. But again, not financial advice. Don't listen to what I'm saying. It's just if you've done your research and you love Celsius, then jump in and click that link. And the final part of my portfolio is gaming skins, and this accounts for 5% of my overall portfolio. And I think this final one sums up the video quite nicely. Gaming skins is all about investing in what you know. So this is something that I came across as I was playing video games, and one of those games more specifically was a game called CSGO, right? And there's essentially a massive market for CSGO skins where essentially people will unlock cases for CSGO, the game, and with those cases they get skin drops, and you can actually sell those skins to other people on the open market. And some of these skins are very rare and they go for thousands and thousands of dollars each. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice there was one that I actually bought last year, €1,000, and it's now worth about 2,000. I'm actually holding on to this one because I feel that this is going to go up even more, this M4A4 Howl skin. And there was another one I bought. I actually bought 5 or 6 of these when they dropped for about $1,000 each, and these op fades are now selling for, $1,300 minimum, but even the quality of the ones that I have are actually going for $1,400 or $1,500. And the great thing about these skins as well is I actually get to play with them in game and, play my games with them too. So while I'm actually making money on these, and I'll probably 2x my money in all these op fades, I actually get to play with them with my friends and people call it out, and it's quite cool to have these really, really nice looking skins. These were also some other ones I bought here, these M4A4 Blue Phosphors. These have doubled in about 3 or 4 weeks of me buying them. Again, just great investing. I know the different skins to buy in this game, and because I play it, I just know from history what type of skins are actually worth the money and which ones you should buy. And this is all about investing in what you know. So thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope some of these unique investments that I have and what I do has interested you, and maybe it sparked up some really cool ideas. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. I've been quite active on YouTube recently and I'm trying to grow it more and more. So if you could make sure you subscribe, that'd be really, really appreciated. And if you want to check out any other videos, please check out my channel and go for them. Really, really appreciate you checking it out. Take care.